Hey y'all, welcome back to the farm. In our last two videos, we toured the property and took a look inside the farmhouse. We checked out the outbuildings like this old canning house. It was full of 300 jars still on the shelf, a reminder of hard work of days past. The old corn crib stored corn and had sticks hanging full of tobacco to dry. And of course the old barn. We decided that this was the place to call home. So we finalized the contract and bought the farm. After we toured the inside of the old farmhouse, after much thinking and debate, we decided that it was too big for us and was going to cost too much money to try to restore it to a livable condition. So we decided to take it down. It was full of beautiful wood, wooden doors, porcelain and brass hardware, and gorgeous windows. So we decided that even though it would take a lot more time and a lot more sweat equity, that we would take it down piece by piece and save the materials to use in the future build. So we retired from our jobs, packed everything we owned into a U-Haul truck and drove the 700 miles up to the new farm. We had our first meal on a makeshift grill and warmed by the little fire inside of our trailer. We weren't acclimated to mountain air yet. We were ready to get started, so we rolled up our sleeves and got to work. The first order of business was water. We decided to develop one of the springs that we had discovered while looking at the farm. So we took the middle section of a food-grade 55-gallon barrel and cut it out. We used that to dam the water from the spring up. We placed clay along the bottom to seal it in and used plumbing pipe to transport the water down the hill. We needed a place to park our temporary home, a 20-foot travel trailer. So we cleared some brush. We rented an excavator to clear a piece of the mountain and make it level. Once the pad was level and graded, we used a piece of corrugated pipe in a trench to make a French drain. This drain would keep the water away from the trailer site. We ordered 2 loads of gravel, one for the pad and one for the driveway. We used a neighbor's tractor to help distribute the gravel and level it off. We also planted some grass seed along the embankments and covered it with straw. This was to help keep the soil in place. Once the rock was completely level, we moved our 20-foot trailer onto the pad and set it up. we had gorgeous views of our new mountain farm. Our little farmhouse on wheels was set. We knew that living in 140 square feet was going to be a challenge, but we were up to it. But we still needed water. Filling our onboard tank with 5-gallon jugs of water was a challenge, so we decided we'd get back to working the springs. We checked out the old reservoir box, but it was in too bad of shape to use, so we decided to go around it. We did, however, find the old spring that supplied the old farmhouse. So we dug a trench and found the box and decided to uncover it and clean it out. Now that we had 2 good springs developed, we decided to converge the lines into the filter box. The filter box allows water to flow through, the silt to fall to the bottom, and then the water continues to run down to our 2 1,000-gallon reservoir tanks. The water flows out of this filter box down the hill to our reservoir tanks. The water fills the back reservoir tank first, flows over into the second reservoir tank, and then fills the line going down the hill to the barn, where we rented a trencher to trench the lines. We installed our first frost-free hydrant in the barn. Continued the trench line down through the barn and down the hill to the corn crib. We installed another frost-free hydrant at the corn crib and the trailer. We needed to keep our barn and our property rodent-free, so we adopted 3 barn cats from the local animal shelter's barn cat program: Hannibal, Lecter, and Mr. Gray. They keep our farm rodent-free. We did some work in the old barn, repairing some boards, and we turned the old milking station into a chicken coop, complete with a custom nesting box. We repaired some of the stalls and got them ready for animals. We also installed a woven wire fence with a hot wire that runs along the top around the apple pasture. This is used as a training pasture for new animals so that they know that they are contained and safe. We also put in a free choice cafeteria-style mineral feeder. Gives them a selection of minerals that they can choose when they need them. We got our first arrival of meat bird chicks, and we also got some egg layers. We got our first goats, 2 billies, and 2 doelings. We also got some Katahdin hair sheep. This is our ram Brody. We got pigs. These are Mangalitzas. They have a woolly hair. We got Muscovy ducks, and Dexter cows. These cows are perfect for small farms. We also got a puppy, Mr. Boomer. He's the perfect farm dog. We survived our first hailstorm with marble-sized hail. We also survived our first snowstorm with temps of 0 and wind chills of -9. We planted our first garden, and harvested a bounty of produce. We harvested our first meat bird chickens, our first pig, and we processed them all here on the farm. We cut and baled our own hay from our hay fields across the road. We ended up with 150 beautiful bales of hay. We feed our hay to our cows and animals through the winter months. Cutting and baling your own hay is a lot of hard work, but it's what farmers call insurance. It's like having money in the bank. We also loaded up all of the winter manure and bedding into a manure spreader. We took it across the road and we applied it to our hay fields as a natural fertilizer. It was one crazy ride. In September of 2024, Hurricane Helene came and ravaged our state. Our little creek swole into a raging river. We lost so much timber on top of our mountain. What once was a thick forest now looked like a game of pickup sticks. The area is really steep, so it would be nearly impossible to gather the timber for firewood. But what we endured was nothing compared to our little town and the western side of North Carolina. The devastation was unimaginable, but community members gathered, neighbors helped neighbors, and strangers rolled up their sleeves and pitched in. Now that our farm was on its feet and running, we had our animals, our garden, and the infrastructure in place, we started working on the old farmhouse. This was a large 2-story farmhouse with many rooms, and the decision to take it down was made. It was full of lots of old wood, beautifully grained boards, and character. So we started at the top and worked our way down, removing flooring, walls, windows, doors, chimneys, roofing, and eventually the siding. We kept all the materials except for the rotted pieces of wood and stored them up in our barn for future use. The doors, hardware, and windows will have a purpose a little later on. The roofing was used on a new equipment barn up behind the old barn, and a lot of the newer 2x4s that the porch was made out of were used as well. The old white clapboard siding was too far gone and not able to save, so we used it as firewood. The beauty and peace that these mountains hold bring a calmness to the mind and feed the soul. It's truly a mountain paradise. Don't forget to join us each week for a new video showing all of our work that we're doing here on the farm. Please like the video and share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell so that you'll be notified as soon as a new video posts. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next week.